Welcome back, everybody. Everything Speed here. Just want to say first off, thanks for the support on the last few videos. We're working on it. We're getting everything set up for what we have to come. Today we're going to be going over one thing that I have experienced in my build series that I'm doing on my Camaro SS here, is that I'm pretty new to the car world. I don't know what tires to go with. I didn't know what engine mods were best for overall what I was looking for, what I wanted to do, what kind of power I wanted to make. So everything like I've done before, go on YouTube, look it up, see what other people are doing, what people recommend. So one thing that I've experienced so far is that tire setup, everybody does a different tire. Nobody knows what's best for them, etc. So I'm going to go over my personal experience, what I bought, what I think of it. So let's get that started. Alright, so the first idea that I had was, let's go with a 1LE style wheel and tire. So, my first thing for that was, obviously the 1LE is a track style tire with a magnetic ride suspension, etc. So they do a 305 30-20 in the rear and then a 285 30-20 in the front. So that's the kind of style I wanted to go with. No, I don't really track the car, but I did want a wider stance, a little bit wider, more aggressive setup for the power and stuff that I'm gonna make, and what my future plans are. So first things first, like I said, I went with the Belgian wheels. They are a 20x10 with a 20 offset. And then a 285 30 ZR20 Proxes R888R tire. So as you can see, it did pretty much get the fitment I wanted. It does stick out just a hair, but it does give it that really aggressive look. And then to move to the rear, I did a 20x11 with a 40 offset on an R888R tire. Gap isn't anything crazy, maybe 2 fingers, maybe 3-ish. So I think it actually looks really good. There's not much of a gap, and it's a fat tire, so it really looks good. It does stick out a little bit. Obviously towards the bottom it gets a little bit bigger just because of the way the shape of the car is. So one of the next things I was really trying to figure out, so this is just a 2SS. It's not a 1LE or anything like that. So my first question was, will a 305 with a 20x11 wheel fit on the regular Camaro SS? I didn't know if there was a big difference. Like I said, I'm new to the car world. I didn't know if the 1LE had different anything. So that was the first question, and I got a lot of mixed reviews. I didn't see people just said yes, they fit. People said they rub, especially on the newer ones. It seems like there's in the rear, there is, I believe, an ABS sensor somewhere in the back there. I'm not entirely sure where it was located. So, like I said, Fitment Industries did a great job. They did walk me through, what I was looking to do, and they really had great customer service in terms of getting me what I wanted, and just their knowledge of what they've experienced with other cars, etc. So in terms of the R888 tire itself, it is a competition tire. It's a very soft compound. I'm going to go over just a little bit of terms of how they wear. So this is kind of an expensive tire, and they seem to actually be kind of hard to get in this size. The 305 especially seemed to be, they were on back order for a long time, I think about 8 weeks or so, and then they finally contacted me and said, hey, they're in, throw me your credit card, and we'll go from there. So that's what I did. So they were, I believe, $550 per tire, whether it was the rear or the front. So yes, to me that's expensive. I don't know if anybody else has experienced a little bit more money in their pockets than me, but yeah, 500, 550 a piece. And I would say, in my honest terms, I think it's a great tire. It hooks up extremely well. So like this car here makes around 460 to the wheel on 93, and then somewhere around 500 wheel to on E85. So like I said, it does have a little bit of mods already. It's a full bolt-on with that flex fuel sensor to run the E85. But yeah, so it does hook up from a dig pretty well. If you run the right air pressure and the tire is a little bit hot and sticky, it will hook from a dig, which is kind of cool. But they do wear fast, and I will admit that. I've had them on maybe a little over 1,000 miles, I would say, and it is going to be kind of hard to tell. I can't find a wear bar. But yeah, there's not a ton even left already. So that is a little bit disappointing. I mean, I read online that they'd maybe last 3,000 miles depending on how you were driving the car and what air pressure you're running, obviously. But yeah, for $500, I mean, if you got it like that, go for it. If you don't, it might be a tire to stay away from, just because they obviously wear fast. They're a great tire. No complaints on anything else, really. One thing that I did experience so far is that the car with the tires, it actually rides much better on a fatter tire, front and rear, compared to the other tires, which were just the Continental Eagle or whatever the hell they were. So that's one thing that I do like, is that it actually kind of rides smoother. It's much more planted, obviously, with the wider tire in the front. It's a great tire overall. They're noisy, so they're a very, very noisy tire. That's one thing that I don't like, is that they're extremely noisy. Not much you can really do about that, but it is what it is. If you have a loud enough car, you don't really hear it anyways, so get an exhaust. Next thing I'm going to go over is there any rub at full turn, with the front especially? So no. My experience is the front. It is, one thing I don't totally love is that there is quite a bit of a wheel gap compared to the rear. Now this is a 30, where the sidewall in the rear is a 35, so I think I'm going to try a 35 in the future, just to see if I can clear that wheel gap up a little bit. You know, everybody's in the comments is going to be like, oh, you should just lower it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really totally sold on lowering it yet. Maybe in the future, but not yet. Most of my money is going into performance mods. Not really looking to get into lowering the car yet. It's a little bit of out of my expertise so far. Yeah, so if anybody has a Camaro SS that they are struggling finding what tire is going to fit, what's wheel size to get, the 20x11 in the rear and the 20x10 in the front, great setup. I don't regret that at all. In terms of tires, yes, in my experience, with a 305, 35, 20 in the rear, there is no rubbing. I don't have any issues on the 21 front as well. 285, 30, 20 in the front, full turn, no rub, nothing, no issues there, so that's great. Alright, so the last thing that we are going to do is, I figured it would be fun to demonstrate a proper launch in the car. We'll do launch control and get a good review of the tire, and you guys can hear it usually does chirp a little bit, but it does actually take off pretty hard. The car is running on 93 octane, so not its full potential at the moment. I don't have any E85 near me right at the moment, so let's go for a little drive. Alright, so we are in track mode, automatic, launch control, so we go to options, and there's launch control, so full brake, hit the gas, gonna rev to 2. Alright, so as you can see, it does spin a little bit. I think that is partially my fault because I don't probably have it at the best air pressure that it could be at. So yeah, but still a great tire. It hooks up way better than obviously the stock tires would do. So I'm gonna wrap up today's video. So just to go over again, R888R tires on a 305 35/20 and a 285 30/20. Overall, great tire. Hooks from a dig relatively with the right air pressure. Not horrible in terms of wear, not great. Pricey, yeah. But overall, great tire. I would recommend it. I mean, as long as you can afford the constant replacement of tires, because it will eat through tires. Hope you enjoyed the footage. Hope I answered anybody's questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment, and I will address it. Thanks, guys.